Hello, hello. Let's just make sure that's recording. Yes, it is. Sorry. Yes, hello, hello. Again, welcome to, for fame and fortune, my D&D BECMI solo campaign featuring all my old books. Plus a few binders worth of Solitaire utilities and such. Most recent of which, I've been looking for something that can help do random dungeons. I'm not quite ready to do a random dungeon, but after taking a look at a couple things, I haven't played 4 Against Darkness, but I know it's popular. I considered using some of the dungeon creation stuff there, but maybe it's a little limited, and I've kind of had some others say it didn't really work well for this kind of play. It works probably well within its own realm, but not necessarily here. I ended up buying something on Drive-Thru RPG that turned out to be absolutely worthless. It really wasn't worth it. I'm not even going to mention the product name. But then somebody on the solo role-playing subreddit suggested 2d6 dungeons. It's a solo. I guess it's kind of like along the lines of 4 Against Darkness in that it's a solo dungeon crawl game. But he suggested that he's used, or maybe it was a she, I don't know, I'll be honest. This person suggested that they use 2d6 dungeon just for the dungeon crawling aspect to build it out. So I kind of just printed just the pages just for generating dungeon rooms. And I see this, I'm going to kind of go through it in a little more detail. I'm not quite ready to generate a dungeon, but we're going to get there very soon because should our new player characters survive here, which is a little, I don't know. We have Egil of the Northern Reaches, just as a quick refresher here, a thief, first level thief, who is sporting a whopping 2 hit points. And then we have Martha Runeslayer, who he's just about to come into contact with, first level fighter, also with the whopping 2 hit points. So I've just kind of let everything fall as they may here. So in old school D&D, you roll for your hit points to begin with, and you of course roll every level for increases. And I just kind of went with that. So both characters, Egil has a poor constitution. So if we go over to his, he's got a constitution which nets him a -1. I rolled a 3 for his hit points when I rolled him up there a few days ago. So he ends up with 2 as his hit points. Martha Runeslayer just ended up having a very bad, crappy roll. There was nothing to really make any modifications there to her hit points. I just rolled poorly on the D8. It came out at 2. Something I needed to check here is actually our experience, because both of them have a prime requisite that's above 13. So they actually should be getting, I mean, they haven't earned any XP yet, but when we get around to it, they actually should be getting a little bonus. I'm thinking the Game Master or Dungeon Master Guide is probably not the right place to look. So I'm going to actually just kind of pull up my player's handbook here, my player's manual, I should say. It wasn't called a handbook. And I'm going to see if I can quickly figure out where everything is in here. Experience on page 12. I'm just going to take a look, see if that helps. Here we go. Bonus your fighter have an above average strength. It's a 10% bonus. I think that's right. So both of them are good in their prerequisites. Egil should have a he's got a dexterity XP total, XP to dex. I don't think I need to worry about this? Actually, I guess I do. XP till next level. I think is a thief. He's actually in a good shape. Thieves, I believe, were 1250. I need to double check that. Because I'm going based on my memory. 1200. So currently he needs 1200 for to hit his next level. Okay, so he's got a 10% experience point XP earning adjustment basically. Martha, same deal. She's got a strength of 18. Strength is her prime requisite, which means she's got a 10% as well. Fighters, however, I think are 2,000-ish for their next for to hit level 2. Pull this up. Yes, 2,000 to become a warrior, which is the name of second level. So we're just going to kind of pop that back. So when we last left off here, I did kind of write up a quick session report. So after a good night's sleep, Egil woke. He, kind of locked up his stuff. So he went to breakfast without weapons. I know this maybe is a little weird for a lot of D&D parties because everyone seems to be suited up, armored up every time they move. But I'd like to kind of take a slightly more realistic way of looking at this. I don't believe that you get up and the first thing you do is put on your armor, unless you are going out onto the road for the day or you're going to be going out to fight. So he goes down and Anna's nowhere to be seen. We end up with this gruff and tactless bartender named Gostislav, who is loud and not exactly the most polite, and Egil is having a mug of ale while he's waiting for his breakfast when he overhears Gostislav speaking to another patron at a nearby table, and in his loud voice indicating that, yes, the inn is in need of adventurers to deal with giant rats in the basements. This piquing Egil's curiosity, at which point we slipped into character generation. So I called things off once we kind of generated the character. I call an end to the session. I'm not really sure why I did that, because it only took another couple of minutes to purchase some equipment for Martha Runeslayer. She didn't really need too much. She is a sword-wielding and shield-wearing, chainmail and shield, first-level fighter who may die very quickly because she's awfully squishy for a fighter. So I'm just imagining it's probably like the chainmail bikini guy kind of going on here, because there's not much protecting her. She's going to die quickly if she gets hit. So I'm almost thinking they need another PC to join the party pretty quickly here, possibly before they even go in search of giant rats. At which point, like I said, I kind of planned things out just a touch in terms of, like, I know I wanted to be killing giant rats in a basement. I have pulled up the Dungeon Master's rulebook here and pulled up rats, and I'm going to be basing the basement on a random roll to see how many rats we actually have. So giant rats is what we're going to be dealing with. It will roll a randomness of 1, 2, 3. And we kind of will go from there, I suppose. Anyway, Egil overhears Gostislav speaking to the other patron. Yes, we are in need of other adventurers to go into the basement. We have a giant rat problem. And the woman sitting at the table with a sword kind of on in front of her. She's got a pint of probably ale in front of her and a mostly eaten plate of breakfast foods right in front of her. And just beyond that, within reach, is a sheathed sword, lying flat across the table. And she looks up and she says, "Well, for a price, I'd be interested." And Gostislav looks and he says, "I can offer free room and board for a week." She looks up at him and she says, "I drink a lot." "Okay." Said, "How many are there?" "I do not know, but they are eating the supplies." And Egil at this point kind of brings up a little hand to kind of motion, and he says, I could potentially be of service there. And she looks over at Egil and kind of sizes him up. Egil is, you know, not a big man. You know, he's young. Martha, I'm actually going to kind of do this a little bit serious. I'm going to call Martha a little bit older here. Shorter than Egil, of course. But possibly heavy. I believe because I rolled her up as German, I'm going with the blonde and blue eyes kind of character here. So there we go. We have, I think I also chose a, well, okay. Dark blonde and blue eyes, apparently, according to that. I subscribe to Patreon that does nothing but D&D inspired tokens for VTTs like Roll20, so I have access suddenly to thousands of tokens that I'm going to be drawing from. So Egil's token comes from, I think, a freebie that I had, or possibly one of the Roll20 token packages I've purchased. But Martha's token does come from this Patreon, of which the name currently escapes me. Maybe I should quickly look it up. Which I may not even have in front of me. I may need to kind of... Oh, actually, I think if I check I'm just talking to myself a little bit. You know what? I may have to look it up later as to what the name of it is, because I do not remember it. There were lots of them. It looked pretty decent. But now it's kind of bothering me a little bit. There we go. Jan Loos. Jan space LOOS. Online tabletop. Jan Loos. Online tabletop. So the stuff looks decent. That's what I'm mostly going to be using for tokens probably going forward, as well as whatever else I've got. So anyway, she sizes Egil up and she says, You know how to use a sword? He goes, sword, dagger, I make my way. You know, I'll hold my own. He says, yeah, alright, just in case there's a lot of them, I could use you. He says, deal, Egil. He says, my name is Martha. Don't look like you're from around here. And Egil goes, true, I come from the northern reaches. He said, I thought you had a northern look about you. Egil kind of thinks about it for a second. He's not exactly sure what a northern looks like, but that's what he's left with. Gostislav looks. He says, "Great! You shall do this. You shall kill the giant rats for me." Egil looks up. He says, "Isn't this Anna's inn?" "Yes. What is your point?" Is she okayed this? I can make decisions. I am man. I don't know where I'm getting this. You know, but he's not stupid. He said, I am the man here. I am in charge today. I said, all right. Free room and board for a week for both of us, right? Separate rooms? Yes, separate rooms. He's like, Egil goes, all right, sold. Which way to the basement? I shall show you. And Martha's sitting there, and she's going, one second, just a moment. I need to prepare. I have my sword, of course, but my armor and my shield they're in my room. Egil goes, yes, I'm also, needing a quick run to the room to prepare. I came down for breakfast, not for a fight. Speaking of which, is my breakfast ready? Yes, I shall get it. And Gostislav disappears for a moment and to return with Egil's breakfast, to find at this point that Egil has joined Martha at her table. Martha has now taken the sword off the table, kind of propped it up against another chair beside her, not really letting it too far out of her sight. And the two of them, speak a little bit here at the breakfast table as they're eating and having a pint. Egil kind of calls it at 1. Martha's, at least 1 in, but she's still doing all right. It's like, and Egil says, well, it's worth it just to, for the week's room and board. I do have some coin on me, but I may run short if I have to pay for room, board, the room, the drinks, the food, whatever other costs I'm going to find here through the week. Martha looks at him and she says, yes, I'm afraid I'm running. I'm not quite short yet, but I really only have a few days more worth of coin on me, and I need to find additional work here. Says, are you, Martha, are you from this area? Is Martha from this area? I'm thinking, so we're going to go to our fate chart here. Martha is probably not from this area. I'm just going to kind of switch over here. Actually, these are the notes. I actually do need to, I already did update this for our session today. Our chaos factor's at 6. Is Martha from around here? I don't know. I'm going to call it 50-50, so at a chaos factor of 6, that's 65 or under. She is from around here. Alright. She actually is from the area. I'm going to make a note of that somewhere here. From the area. Is she from Port Cyric? I'm thinking that seems unlikely, so I'm just going to roll on unlikely. That's a 50% chance here. So no, she's not from Port Cyric, but not far off, not far away. Won't really worry too much about that, but she does know the area. She does know Port Cyric because of that. So Egil maybe is kind of teamed up with someone appropriate here. And Egil goes, I can't say that I've actually fought giant rats before. Are the two of us going to be enough? Martha thinks it over for a second. She kind of sizes Egil up. Keeping in mind she's also pretty squishy, but she probably doesn't think of herself that way. She looks at him. Does she have another friend that can help? We'll just call that a 50-50 here. Yep, she does know someone. She goes, I know another adventurer in town who may be interested in helping. And there we go. Who is the other adventurer? Let's find out. We're going to add another character here. We will worry about the name later. I'm going to quickly open up my player's manual here. We'll go quickly to character generation and see what we come up with. Alright. We'll do our traditional 3d6 for each of our stats. Let me come here so I can kind of grab this. So we got 11 for strength, for intelligence, 10. Alright, well, we're not going to be a magic user, probably. Could be a cleric. Wisdom of 14. Dexterity. 7. Definitely not a thief. Constitution. High would be nice for once. 9. That's average. And a charisma. 12. I'm thinking we're going cleric here. Due to that, we're going to drop our intelligence by 2 and increase the wisdom by 1. And we're definitely going to go cleric, which I know as a wisdom. Wisdom prime requisite here. I'm going to flip on back to cleric. This may take a few more minutes, but for our next level, we're going to need 1,500. Oops, sorry. XP total is 0 at the moment. We need 1,500 for the next level. Let's just fill out our saving throws. 11, 12, 14. Dragon's Breath is 16, and Rod, Staves, and Spells is 15. Cool. Alright. The class here, we are dealing with turning. For skeletons, we're at 7. For zombies, we're at 9. For for ghouls, we're at 11. I do not remember how turning works. And whites are, nope. Nope. Whites are currently a nope. Okay. Cool. Okay. Prime requisite, good. Exchange ability scores, I'm happy with that. Our cleric is going to get a D6 for hit points. 5. Okay, we got a hardier cleric than we have anything else, so the cleric's doing okay. Cool. Okay, and cool. Sorry, we're going to kind of shift over to our inventory. We'll roll for gold, 3d6 times 10. 90 gold to work with. Alright, let's start buying some equipment quickly here. Where's the expert set here? Flip open the equipment table as usual. We're gonna pick up, first thing we'll do, damn it, okay, sorry, flip closed on me. First thing we're gonna look at here is we'll pick up a backpack, one backpack, what has an encumbrance of 20, 5 GP. Clerics use, I forget how clerics work here for a moment in terms with old D&D. Clerics can wear armor, I believe. Any kind of armor, and may use a shield. But they don't use weapons with sharp edges. That I did remember. So, our cleric here is going to end up with a, we'll go with a mace. Mace has an encumbrance of 30. And a mace is going to cost 5 GP. I think it's worth having a shield. Shield has an encumbrance of 100 and is going to run us 10 GP. And then armor. She's got some cash, so I think we're going to grab some chainmail armor. That's going to be an encumbrance of 400. And it's going to run 40 GP. That's going to bring her down to 30 gold pieces. Also worn is a holy symbol. I just need to find the holy symbol. Yeah, so that's a whopping encumbrance of 1, but 25 gold, and that's going to pretty much. So This one, the cleric is pretty much almost bankrupt here. And in the backpack, I'm going to throw a water skin. Alright, and once again, we'll drop that. She's now kind of down to whopping 4. Yeah, so our cleric, who we're going to need a name for here in a second. In fact, I'm just going to choose a name. I've used this as a cleric name a lot, so I'm going with Berham. Just because I think I need to resurrect Berham again. Character I've used for years. We are dealing with we're dealing with a shield. Yep. And we're dealing with armor. We're dealing with chain. Why is the shield not doing anything? Oh, her dex is that bad, isn't it? Yes, it is. So the shield actually only keeps her armor at 5. Otherwise, it'd be 6. So that's probably for the best we do that. What are we dealing with here? Gender. We're just gonna make him male. We'll make him 23. 180 centimeters, 60 kilos. I don't know whether I've been doing this. Eyes are brown, short black hair, and alignment, he's lawful. So we're going with lawful, which means languages known are common and lawful. His intelligence is a little too low, he's not all that bright, but he's wise. He's wise in his ways. We're going to see, do I have a cleric already in here? Oh, let's see here. I kind of like the animated one, so why don't we do that, and we'll just take the animated priest here as the default token. Edit the hook of properties, Berham. Now we determined 5 hit points and 5 for his AC there. Did that do it? No, it did not. Of course it didn't. Let's make things a little different then. We'll use that token instead of the animated one. Alright, cool. Skipping ahead just a little bit. Just due to where we are here, I do believe, so, something I wanted to check about clerics, because I'll be honest, I don't remember what it is in original D&D stuff here, and kind of how that plays out. Here, clerics are dedicated to a great and worthy cause. See, in D&D, Red Box and such, cleric spells come from the strength of the cleric's beliefs. They weren't necessarily connected to a god. So, alright here. But, as a first level cleric, first level cleric has no spells. So, Berham has yet to learn spells. Basically, a cleric at the beginning is kind of a wussy fighter. Although, in this case, Berham is stronger than the other two, apparently. So we're going to kind of go from there. Just kind of continue. We're still recording. Yes, we are. Awesome for the last half an hour. And all we've managed to do is connect our two first player characters and learn that there's a third one. The scene continues without actually creating a new scene. The scene continues elsewhere in the market. Berham the cleric. So in the market, Martha, knows kind of where to find Berham, and she knows that as a cleric, he's kind of looking to do right and help others. So she goes looking for him and finds him in the market, standing there. The mace hanging hanging at his left side, off of his belt, off of a loop there, all dressed in armor and kind of standing tall, and he's speaking with a fruit vendor, somebody selling fassa fruit, and he's discussing the benefits of fassa fruit, and what a tasty fruit it is, and whether how well the vendor's business is doing, and perhaps he might be interested in buying some fassa fruit from him a little later on in the day when he becomes hungry. When Martha calls out with Egil in tow, Berham! And he stops speaking for it and he says, "Excuse me a second." And he turns to look. "Ah, yes. Martha Runeslayer, how can I be of service?" He says, "Berham, I have a short adventure, a small little adventure to go on. The current bartender of the Lone Rose Inn has asked me to, has asked us, this is Egil. He's from the northern reaches, and he's here also looking for opportunities to increase his wealth. Wealth does not really concern me, only the aid of all of my friends and all of those of the town here." Well, never mind that. You need to eat anyway, Berham. Give me a moment here. I'm just going to pause the recording. Continuing on. Okay. Berham, I understand. You want to do good. You want to seek adventure, help people, that kind of thing. However, you still need to eat. This will give us a place. This will give you a place to stay for the week. They'll feed you both food and drink if you prefer. If you'd like. And you're helping the staff and the owner of the Lone Rose Inn. It's simply killing some giant rats in the basement that are destroying their profits. Well, their profits really are not my concern, but I will help. Excellent. Come with us. We're going to go take care of this now. Berham agrees, yes, that he'll go. He follows Martha and Egil, now meeting them. And Egil, you look like you're northerner. How long have you been here? How long have you been in Port Cyric? No, I'm fairly new here. Yes, I understand. Okay, then, well, welcome to Port Cyric. I'm sure you'll find it a marvelous place to begin your adventures. Martha here will make a fine addition to a party. In fact, possibly as the leader. She's quite clever, really, for a fighter. Martha eyes him for a second, and she's like, "Just keep talking yourself into trouble. And don't mind her, she has a bit of a temper. And again, she just kind of eyes him as they make their way back to the Lone Rose Inn and enter, looking for Gostislav, who is there. And, you know, there you are. Are you ready to kill the giant rats? There's a handful of people now in the tavern, and a couple of them look up and over to him. And one of them actually looks down at their food and kind of shoves it across the table. Never mind. No rats in here. Just patrons, friends. And the damage is already done. A couple of the patrons are already kind of like put off their meals. And Egil and Martha and Berham all walk towards the bar. Now they're all kind of, suited up, armored, weapons hanging off, weapons and everything ready to go. And, so they're probably upsetting the patrons a little bit. Not necessarily that the patrons are angry or scared or anything like that, but that it's clear something is going on, and they, Gostislav just mentioned giant rats. So Gostislav says, "Yes, the cellar is this way. I shall show you." And he guides them through the tavern, through the alehouse part of the inn, back through the kitchen to a set of stairs leading down. Excuse me. They look down and... Alright. It leads into a darkened basement. There's no torches lit, at which point Egil starts fishing out one of his torches. He drops the backpack, except for the tinderbox and the and one of the torches in his backpack he keeps. He's going, "I'm just going to leave this right here, okay?" "Yes, of course. It'll be fine." Meanwhile, the others just have their weapons, armor, and such. Nobody's bothered to bring... Well, I mean, Berham has his backpack on, at which point he realizes he's just fine to leave it there, so he just kind of sloughs it off his shoulder and drops it on the floor next to Egil's backpack. Meanwhile, aside from her weapons and armor and shield, Martha has left everything else back in her room. She really has zero interest in carrying all of that. I didn't buy a ton of stuff for her. It really just whatever's in the backpack. So let's just kind of show all here. Which is some torches and a water skin. That's it. So torches, water skin, pretty much similar to the way Berham is outfitted with his backpack. But Martha currently has a room, and she looks back again at Gostislav, and she says, "And a third room, correct?" "What? No, I said for the two of you." It's like he can. Is Gostislav going to go with this? Is he going to agree to 3 rooms and plus meal and drinks and everything to go along? I'm going to say he wants this taken care of, so I'm just going to give it a 50-50. $54, which with at the current chaos factor of 6, that is a yes. Okay, fine. I agree. Each of you will have your own room, food, and drink for the week. Okay, let's just make sure we kind of make some notes here. My Berham here is a little more pompous than my typical Berhams of the past. I don't know why I keep spelling Gostislav that way. the basement. Alright, we're going to kind of be dealing with this. So, I'm going to kind of just call the scene right there. We're going to call that the end of that scene. And we're going to move on to scene 3 here in a second. I think things are kind of doing alright, so I think we're going to kind of keep our chaos factor, and we're going to drop that back down to 5. Scene 3 is going to be in the basement. However, let's do the proper thing when it comes to Mythic. Now, Mythic scenes work like this. At the beginning, you roll a d10 to see whether you get the expected scene or possibly something that's going to affect it. So, when you test the scene, you roll a d10 against the chaos factor. If you roll the chaos factor or less, in this case we have a 50% chance, you will either get a altered scene or an interrupt scene. On a odd, it's an altered scene. If it's even, it's actually an interrupt scene. So let's just check. We'll start by testing the scene, which is a 3. That means we're dealing with an altered scene. Okay. Altered scene. This, we know that the expectation is they're going to be fighting rats in the basement. How are things going to be altered? So the next expectation here, I'm just going to flip through here for an altered scene. Let's give it a meaning. Let's give it some meaning. We'll roll on the meaning table, starting with our action here. Our altered scene. I can't see the dice up there. It's going to be 15. Break. And the second word in the action is going to be 78. Break project. The break project. So how is the scene altered then? Break project. Break project. That could be something as simple as this. I mean, the project is to rid the giant rats. How could they break it? How could it be broken? Maybe in that there's something more than giant rats in there. Maybe there's something else. As they descend the stairs, they're going to find out. I'm just going to kind of flip back through Mythic quickly here. Altered scenes, negative expectation, a tweak, a fate question, a meaning, the meaning tables, and I basically kind of decided to go with the meaning tables. There are other way to deal with altered scenes, which I might use in the future. But I just went to the meaning tables. So is there something else? We could deal with a wandering monster table. That's always fun. So I grabbed the Lone Rose basement map here. We're going to need some tokens. I'm thinking Martha, seeing as what she is, she's going to lead the way down the stairs. This may not be the smartest thing to do. We're not expecting anything in the way of traps because it is a basement, so I'm not even going to entertain that idea. Egil's going to take up the rear here as they march down the steps. Let's do this. First, we need to find out how many giant rats there are. I need to roll. So based on the Dungeon Master's rule book, the number of appearing are 1 to 3 plus disease. So there's no way to roll a d3 up there, so I'm just going to roll a d3 like this. Hello? There we go. One giant rat. Ha ha Sorry. Do I have a rat somewhere in here? There's a giant rat. This giant rat. I'm not. So this giant rat. Hit dice is 7. So he has. Oops. Oh yeah, I see. Some of this is a little weird. So the way, so if you look at the original book here, things are actually a little off. Somebody hit enter or return carriage when they were typing this out, so things are off by 1. So we know its armor class is 7, and we know it has 1 to 4 hit points, which I'm just going to randomize here. And once again, I can't see the damn thing. So it's going to have a whopping 1 hit point. Cool. Okay. The giant rat. North, south, east, west. So let's just kind of go starting with north, and we'll go choose D4 just to determine kind of where it is. Counting along, 1 is going to be north. 4, which is going to put it over here on this side. Now, we know that, however, we do have something that may also kind of be a problem that the characters don't know. So I'm gonna roll on the dungeon level 1 wandering monster table. There's something else weird here. That's an 8. There's a human down here. There's already a human down here. Ooh, I think I know what it is. I think I know. I'm going to save it for when we get down here. And I think, yeah, I like this. First thing we're going to do, as they kind of start, as the trio descends into the basement, they hear squeaking. Squeak, squeak. And as they come down to the end of the stairs, as Martha is the first to reach the end of the stairs, she looks and sees a 3-foot-long rat in the corner, or kind of along the far wall. Although they can see based on this, so we have a number of, as you can see here, because I grabbed this from somewhere. So my apologies, whoever made this. I just kind of grabbed it through a Google search quickly. We have a variety of kegs, barrels of ale and wine and whatever else kind of along the walls and even through here. A couple of pillars is just kind of like this would be part of what holds up the floor so it doesn't cave in. And beyond in places there's also sacks of different types of grains and foods and such. They keep fresh foods and preserved meats and everything down here. Barrels probably of pickled herring and that kind of thing. And the rat is in is on the one side, and beyond they can see that there's an opening leading into a second area. And this is all just kind of being illuminated because Egil is using one of his torches here. Can I do a little bit of we'll call that the torch, just as a reminder that there is a torch lit, and it's centered on Egil. It will light up the whole area, I believe. I'll have to take a look, because I think torches can probably do at least 30 feet, if not dim to 60 feet. I don't know what the rule was when it came to torches in BASIC. However, so we got giant rats 3 feet long or more. It's a good sized rat with black and gray fur, and as the trio, as the party kind of descends and the light starts to kind of shine towards the rat, it kind of snaps up from its snack and sees them and chitters awake. And we're going to go with initiative here. So initiative works like this. So I'm going to pull just to make sure I do everything kind of correctly, because I'm so used to doing things with D&D 5th edition. So when we start, the first thing you would typically do would be surprise. So there's... would there be surprise? So in a one-player adventure, okay, you are surprised if you... So basically we're going to kind of look, is one side surprised? If there's a side that's surprised, then they get to act second regardless of what their initiative is. So let's just kind of check on surprise. You're surprised if you roll a 1 or 2. So we're going to roll for the player characters here. The party is going to be surprised, and the rat actually is not. So as they're walking down, Martha sees the rat, and it's bigger than what she thought it was going to be. Instead of 3 foot long, it's like a 4.5 foot long rat, which sees them very quickly. And it's going to get to move first regardless of what initiative is. I want to check a couple of things here in terms of how to read the monster descriptions. Hit roll nearby. Okay. Alright, it talks about... Yeah, okay. So basically, depending on kind of monster's hit dice, its hit dice is half. So basically it's dealing with a THAC0 of 19. It's funny, the Red Book doesn't really describe, it doesn't call it THAC0. I'm not sure when THAC0 started being used as an acronym, but in the BECMI, I'm seriously getting closer and closer to calling it BECMI. It's not really used as THAC0, but basically that's what it is, even though the character sheets have it. Did they have it? No, not really. The original character sheets don't even mention THAC0. They kind of have a 2-hit. So, I read, THAC0 used to drive me crazy. I always found it difficult to calculate when I was a kid. And I recently saw an article that summarized just how easy THAC0 was, and it never dawned on me back when I used to deal with THAC0, even up playing through AD&D 2nd edition. So their THAC0, including the rat here, everyone's on a THAC0 of 19. So 2 hit armor class 0, you need a 19 on a d20 to hit. To figure out whether you hit something, you roll a d20, subtract that number from your THAC0, and that is the armor class you're going to hit. So in this case, we have an armor class of 7. Oops, sorry, that's looking at the wrong thing suddenly. Where'd my rat go? Here we go. Yes, so we're dealing with an armor class of 7. So to hit an armor class of 7, we roll the d20, subtract whatever we roll from, and figure out what AC we hit. As long as we hit that or below, better. Because low AC is better, right? In the old days. You hit. Cool. Awesome. No problem. Actually, one thing I do need to do before we jump into this and roll for this is I actually need to pop into the combat section here because I did not add... Hello. I did not add Berham's mace. And I need to find out how much a mace does for damage very quickly here. A mace is a d6 damage. Cool. Okay, let's roll initiative. Regardless of what we roll for initiative, the rat's going to go first. Now, can I... how do I... If I wanted to bring up an initiative, is there a way... I forget how that works here. So, initiative tracker. Do I have an initiative tracker? Turn order. Right click a token, choose add a turn. Add turn. And I wasn't paying attention to what we rolled. We rolled a 3. So I'm going to just kind of, because it's group initiative, hello, 3, and the rat is going to go on 6 regardless. So the rat's actually going to go first. The rat was going to go first regardless. So in the first round, the rat's going to go. So we're dealing with, I think I have this set to 5-foot squares. It should be. I hate that it doesn't do that. D&D never adopted metric, but whatever. I'm going to, can I shift this over? We're going to just zoom in a little bit here. The battle begins. So I'm going to kind of do this. So, I'm not going to do a blow by blow with combat there, but that's all right. So we are going to go back to our roll. We have our initiative, morale check. We're not going to require, and movement. We can use their speed per round, which I believe I read this as the speed per round in terms of the rat is 40. There was a way to do. Sorry. There's a way to do this. Nope. Five, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. The rat rushes towards Martha. We do movement, missile fire combat. The rat doesn't do that. No magic spells, and then we deal into hand-to-hand combat, which the rat targets Martha. Charging forward, scurrying across, dripping saliva off of its sharpened teeth. So here we go. So the rat's, anyone bitten by a rat has a 1 in 20 chance of being infected by whatever disease it's carrying. That can be bad, and actually that is, that's nasty. So the victim may still avoid the disease by making a saving throw versus poison. If failed, the victim may die in 1 to 6 days. There's a 1 in 4 chance of that. Okay, so it's not guaranteed. Or may be sick in bed for a month, unable to adventure. So the rat charges towards Martha. Martha has an AC of 4. The rat has a THAC0 of 19. We roll a d20 to attack. 16. So, cool. So, 16, that's actually pretty good because that's going to hit. So with THAC0 19, subtract 16 is an AC of 3, which is less than Martha's AC, which means it's a hit. So the rat goes in for a single bite. How much damage does the rat's bite do? Suddenly realizing this should have been 3 to 18 rats because of the way this is phrased. I thought it was the 1 to 3, but I'm just going to continue to go with this because I'd like them mostly to survive if I can. That's my bad. Actually, it's TSR is bad for screwing up the formatting of their book. So the damage it does is actually 1 to 3. So we're going to roll a d3. This could be bad for Martha. Oh, that's going to be terrible for Martha. We're actually going to lose a player character right off the bat here, as the rat kind of comes in, low, because it's really only, it's not very tall. It's like the size of a dog. And Martha she brings her shield down to block the rat. And just as she brings it down to the floor, the rat dives over the shield and sinks its sharpened teeth right into her neck. Martha lets out a burbling scream as the rat rips her throat out. Because she only had 2 hit points. Martha drops dead. Hello, why is this not updating? Martha drops dead right there. Behind them, Berham just goes, "My God! By the gods! Martha! Martha!" And the rat kind of, drops, her body collapses to the floor, blood, pouring out onto the dirt floor of the tavern's basement, and poor Martha dies just like that. There you go. All the the 7 minutes it probably took to roll up Martha as a character was all for naught, because she's now died. She's now dead, lying there, bleeding out. The blood keeps spurting out with the rat, the rat's face buried in her throat. Yikes. Okay, so then we kind of go around. We come back to the top of the order here. We Martha goes. So so there's no morale check because they're player characters. Movement. Berham goes to circle the rat. 5, 10. I think player characters move 30 normally. Berham moves. Egil quickly kind of moves around too. 5, 10 towards the rat. And gets there no problem. And they kind of move in on the rat, and no missile fire, no magic spells. We go right into hand-to-hand combat. We'll start with Berham. Berham, in his anger, brings his mace up. I just going into the assumption they all entered the basement with their weapons drawn. Sorry, I meant to make the note of that at the beginning. Brings the mace up and the shield kind of aside. So, "I smite thee, monster!" And he swings at the giant rat. 16, 19 subtract 16 is 3. So he hits an AC of 3, which is definitely hitting the rat. The rat has a whopping 1 hit point. So I can roll for damage because it's a d6, which is only 1. And Berham brings the mace crashing down onto the giant rat's skull, killing it instantly. We'll just kind of cross that out. And breathing heavily, as he kills the rat that just killed his friend Martha. Wow, that's pretty harsh for Martha. I need to pause this for a second, because then we're going to get into kind of what's going on next. Okay, I'm back. A slight intermission there. So I mean, if you happen to be watching this, you wouldn't have noticed, but you probably noticed that the video maybe just kind of stopped and cut. So, with the rat dead and poor Martha also, unfortunately, lying dead, that kind of sucks. The guys kind of, Berham and Egil, quickly, especially Berham, who's friends with Martha, quickly moves to her side to check. "Oh, by the gods, she's not breathing. Her throat's been... this rat. I can't believe it. My poor friend. friend! And Egil's going, I'm sorry for your loss, Berham. I've only known Martha for a matter of hours. But, she seemed like good people. Ah, the best! She will be missed. I will always remember you, my friend. And suddenly they hear the noise of something. Sounds like somebody. And as they quickly move, I'm going to quickly move these guys over to here. That's where it's coming from. They peer through, and tied up just beyond the barrels. I'm not going to bother with a token there, but just tied up and gagged is Anna the bartender, the owner of the Lone Rose Inn. And then they hear the stomping of feet on the stairs. You weren't supposed to find her, but this is how I get rich. I take adventurers' money, and I will bury you with Anna. And coming down the stairs is a large, good-sized bartender who happens to be loud and obnoxious and apparently a psycho killer. I need to... Okay, there we go. I just had to find out what stats there are here for... So they got normal human. That's what we're going to go with. Gostislav is a normal human. We're going to open him up here. We know this is Gostislav. He has an armor class of 9. Hit dice of 1. Suddenly I need to remember how I roll for hit dice, because I don't remember. Hit dice. This gives the number of 8-sided dice used to find the monster's hit points. Cool. So he actually has 1 hit die. He's actually going to be dealing with 4 hit points. And Gostislav is... I'm thinking he's dealing with like a cleaver. So I'm going to call that kind of the equivalent of a dagger, big meat cleaver, that he finds. As he's coming down the stairs, "Oh, I shall kill you all, leave you to rot in the basement, until I dispose of you properly in the ocean." He looks down at Martha going, "I know she had money, I shall take it from her." And he kind of reaches down to start, taking a look at her body, and that's when... We're going to roll initiative right there. We're going to... How do I clear the initiative track? Turn order. Oh, there we go. Delete. Adding a turn. This will be so since Martha's dead, we're going to move it to Berham here as the main one. And we'll go add a turn. Sorry, I think that was 3 and 5? Yes. We'll sort this. I'm going to go with that there's no surprise. I don't think that makes any sense whatsoever here, due to what's just happened. Actually, I'm going to pull this dice roll over here. That makes more sense. Same with the turn order. I don't know why I kept it there, seeing as this is the way the map is. So, our would-be bartender, who apparently is looking to take over the bar for himself, by taking taking it from Anna by tying her up, throwing her in the basement until he decides to how to deal with her the best, and probably gets all the secrets of the bar out of her, is now going to attempt to kill both Berham and Egil. gotta make some notes, of course. Anna's, Martha's body quickly. Okay, here we go. So, once again, we'll kind of go through the order here. Morale check, nope, not needed at the moment because they were right at the beginning. Actually, give me one quick second here. Okay, and continuing on. Alright, quick little break there. Gostislav is a normal human. That's what we're going with. He's got a movement of 40 then. I'm wondering if everyone else should have a movement of 40. But that doesn't matter. He's got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. He's again, Gostislav is, what were the notes we made on him last time? Gostislav is a tactless champion. We figured out possibly a former adventurer, you know, but maybe not a former adventurer, possibly just a killer. He gets to here, he has no ranged weapons. He's dealing with a meat cleaver that he's going to cut these guys up with. And we're going to switch over. So Berham is actually going to go first. He turns towards Gostislav, raises that mace, and he says, "I shall make you pay for the death of my friend. Her death is on your head, Gostislav." And he'll move. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. 5, 10, 15, straight up towards Gostislav. He rushes across the floor towards the big bartender heading towards him, bringing the mace up and swinging it. Oh, sorry, actually, I need to move too, because Egil is going to stay back here. Egil's going to move as well. He shifts in. Should I call that room to maneuver in there? I'm thinking yes. Egil sidles up quickly, you know, slips up beside Berham, bringing his sword to bear, and Berham swings. Berham. Yeah, because we don't have... Yeah, sorry. So next would be movement to missile fire, none. Magic spells, none. Hand-to-hand, choose targets, make hit rolls, roll damage for hits. Sure. Both of them are going after Gostislav. He rolls to hit with a THAC0 of 19, rolling only a 6. So that means he's only going to hit on a 13. Gostislav has armor class of 9, so that's a miss. Berham swings, but Gostislav is quicker than he looks. He kind of slips to the side, dodging out of the way of the mace. But, you know, Egil kind of also slips in there. Now, if I recall correctly, Egil is dealing with a sword. Let me just make sure about that. Yeah, he's got a sword, which he has in one hand. He's not using the dagger at the moment. That's still in a sheath on his belt. Instead, he brings the sword and attempts to skewer our bartender. Also with a THAC0 of 19. 15. Okay, that's okay. So he's going to hit a armor class of 4. That is definitely going to hit. A sword does D8 damage? A D8 damage. He hits for 5, which is going to be more than what Gostislav has. And so we're going to kind of throw our markers on. And Egil, you know, kind of quickly approaches up near Berham. Berham swings the mace. Gostislav slips to the left, actually, just as Egil brings the sword in and runs him right through the chest. Gostislav stood apparently no chance whatsoever of making this work. He was a little too confident in his own abilities. And he stops the sword, you know, halfway up, you know, right into his chest between ribs on his left hand side here. And he stops. he drops the cleaver, grabs the blade, looks at Egil surprised, and drops to the floor. He's dead. He's dead, Egil. We have avenged Martha. Yes, but there's still Anna to be dealt with. You take care of her. I shall bring him to the authorities. No, perhaps I shall bring the authorities here. Not so fast. Let's free Anna first. Egil comes around back around around the partial wall there to find Anna, and he crouches down beside her. He's kind of drops the sword on the dirt floor, and he draws his dagger. And for a second she looks surprised and angry and scared, and he says, "Don't worry." And he reaches forward and he cuts the gag in her mouth. She goes, thank you. He was going to kill me. Yes, I know. You don't have to worry about him anymore. We've taken care of him. But one of our friends, one of our adventurers here, one of our party members fell under the giant rat. Gostislav would have had us as well. Hold still. I'll cut your bonds. And he kind of rolls her over and cuts the ropes that are tying her hands behind her back, and then cuts the rope that are binding her feet. And Anna, struggles free now, and carefully, but slightly shakily gets to her feet. She goes, "Thank you." She comes around with Egil again. I didn't bother with a thing here. Comes around with Egil to see Gostislav there, lying dead with a bloody stab wound, a large bloody stab wound in his chest. Blood's now starting to kind of pool out of his mouth as well. And she steps forward and she goes, "You son of a bitch. I hired you and trusted you, and this is how you repay me?" Berham stands up, says, "We should turn his body over to the authorities. He has done much wrong here today, and, well, we should at least inform the local law enforcement of what has transpired here today." Berham's going to be one that's going to be wordy and pompous, I guess. "And we must put my dear friend Martha Runeslayer to rest." Anna agrees. She goes, We'll get out of here. We'll see to Martha. We'll deal with him. We'll bring in the authorities. I'm so sorry this happened. I feel responsible for this. This was not your fault, my dear. This is all on him. Gostislav planned this. Still, the giant rat, if he had not done this and we had worked with you, I do believe that things would have gone differently. I don't know why. Berham's full of shit. But we're going to kind of call an end to the scene right there. So, things turned out a little differently here. We're going to call an end to the scene. I'm going to bring us over to the adventurer's notes here. So, Gostislav's body and okay, end of scene. I'm thinking I don't know. Were they kind of in charge there? I don't really know. I'm thinking that kind of went poorly. I think I'm going to increase the chaos factor. So I think for scene number 4, we're going to be dealing with a chaos factor of 6 again. I'm going to set things up. And we also need to deal with some experience. So, We also need to deal with, actually, we should deal with threads first. Threads. I actually meant to put the thread of kill the giant rats, but that's not going to be happening there. We have no. I also meant to add Gostislav on here, but that's not really going to matter now because he's dead. So let's just kind of go. We'll deal with so new threads. I don't know. Do we have new threads? Do we have any new threads? Putting Anna to rest, or sorry, putting Martha to rest, maybe. But I don't really know about that. I don't think that's really a thread. I don't think we have to worry too much about it. So I don't think we really have any new threads. No new characters to worry about here either. Yeah. But we should deal with some experience. So, we killed a giant rat. Also, actually, you know what? We have a normal human. As they're leaving, Egil's the type that he would absolutely quickly search the body. Treasure of P and U. P is in brackets. Now, what does that mean again here? I'm just going to come back to it. Just need to be able to read the treasure stuff here. Which, let's see here. Monster descriptions. Treasure type. To find the treasure guarded by the monsters, compare the letter given here to the letter on the treasure types. Complete instructions, whatever. If it's in parentheses, it is the treasure carried by the monster. If not, it would be in the monster's lair. So basically, the P would be what he's carrying. So P. So do this treasure. Actually, I'm pretty sure the rat's got nothing. The rat probably doesn't have treasure. But I'm going to double check that. Rats do have treasure, a treasure type of C. So let's deal with the rat first here. We'll put it into this. Treasure, giant rat. So there's a 20% chance of some copper. I need my dice again. 0.7, yeah, there's some copper. So it's 1 to 12, so we'll roll a d12. 11 copper. So 11 copper. 30% chance of some silver down here. 0.1, yeah, okay, but it's only 1 to 4 silver. Whopping 1 silver. 10% chance of some electrum. Yeah, electrum. No electrum. No chance of gold. No problem. That makes sense. Alright, no chance of platinum. Possibly some gems. 16. Yeah, there are some gems. 1 to 4. 3 gems. Jewelry. Yeah, there's a 25% chance. 27. Nope, no jewelry. And magic items, there's a 10% chance. Yeah, 96. No. Okay, so the rat had 11 copper, 1 silver, 3 gems to be determined. And how do we deal with gems? So, dealing with the gems. So the gems are going to be the rat's gems are going to be, we need 3 rolls. 31. 31? 31. Let's call it a, oops. Call it a citrine, which is worth, actually worth 50 gold. 71 is, we'll call it an amber, worth 100 gold pieces. And the last gem, 80. A pearl. That's worth 500 gold pieces. So, just going to kind of copy that. And we'll do this. Oops. That's actually quite... So in searching the... 1 second. Pausing a moment. Alright, back here. So in searching the room, they actually find where the giant rat's little lair was, and it had collected a few things amongst all the scraps. So it looks like some of this may have come off of like a maybe embedded in a purse that it had stolen and ripped apart or something. So it actually there's actually quite a bit there. Now I'll have to double check something on XP. But before we do that, we're going to deal with finding, checking out Gostislav's treasure. So that's the rat. Do it this way, giant rat. Oops, giant rat treasure. Gostislav. So I keep spelling it that way for some reason. So the reason I went with the rats because this was the rat's lair down here. It had made a lair, and so there was a bunch of things that Egil found after. Because it would definitely be Egil who went searching. You know, he's found the rat's little lair, realized there was some shinies in there, and started searching, pulling a bunch of things out. So Gostislav's, because what's on him is dealt with as a P. So in his case, P. So we're gonna, it's actually a 3d8 for copper. Okay, so we got 8 copper. No silver, no electrum, no gold, no platinum. Actually, nothing else. That's all he's really got is 8 pieces of copper on him. Cool. And once again, while the others are upstairs, you know, going to make the calls to law enforcement and deal with things, it's Egil who does this. Now, Egil, what is Egil's alignment? Pretty sure I went with neutral. Kill that. Egil's alignment is neutral, correct? Egil's alignment is neutral. Egil stealing off of a corpse of a new ally? Psh, I would say, yeah, there's a chance. However, since most of her inventory is going to be upstairs, there's not much, like she didn't have her backpack with her or anything else. You know, taking things off of Martha, there's not really going to be much aside from whatever weapons she's carrying, and he probably doesn't care about that. Inventory, because all of her coin would be upstairs. Backpack, chainmail armor, sword, shield. Egil doesn't care. He's not going to take any of that. Yeah, he briefly checks Martha's body because that's what he does. But there's no... all of her valuables... besides her weapons and armor, which he doesn't care about, so he takes nothing. Alright, cool. Now, XP wise, and I'm pretty sure we're going to end this session right here after we're done here. We've already decided what our next chaos factor is going to be. Just going to kind of start setting things up here. Don't know what we're going to call the... Oops, sorry, episode 3? Episode 4? Yes. Episode 1? Episode 2? Yes, episode 3, episode 4. Jeez, apparently I'm very confused. And we'll need to update this because he did, or she did. Berham, the cleric, yeah. So, not worrying about any of this right now, but we do need to calculate some experience points. So, XP-wise, I need to check, how do we deal with XP? What I'm questioning, it's about finding gold, but I think it's about earning gold. So I don't think... Basically, I don't think the gems count yet. That's what I'm trying to find out. Check this here. So experience points 124 in the expert guide. That is for... That's not helpful. Earning experience. Page 12 in the player's manual. Okay, so experience points. Nope, per gold piece value. So we're gonna figure out our experience here. So we go back quickly to the Dungeon Master's rule book. Because first of all, we killed a giant rat. So the giant rat's XP value is not listed. Of course it's not, because they shipped everything down one and didn't include the giant rat. But it's half hit dice, so in theory it should kind of sync up with other things that are half a hit die. Let me see here. Kobolds are half a hit die, so XP value of 5. And then the normal human, I love how it's actually under N, normal, not under human. He's hit dice of 1, his XP, so Gostslav is also worth 5 XP. And the treasure found, so what do we got here? Our treasure is of value, but the silver and copper aren't really going to add up to enough. We'll just deal with this. So 50, well, sorry, it's 650. 650 XP. There we go. So we're looking at 660 XP divided by 3. All right, so I think maybe I'll just grab that because I kind of want to keep it. So, oops, I just turned the mic on. That's not what I meant to do. Okay, so Berham, Martha. Well, actually, Martha wouldn't. You know what, though? That doesn't quite make sense because Martha wasn't involved. You know what? Because the Ghost of Slub's only worth 5, I'm not going to worry about it. Berham, Martha, and Egil deceased. Each earned 220 XP. So, come to the character sheets. I might as well give Martha her fair share of XP anyway. Although there is a 10% adjustment. So, plus the 10% adjustment is another 22 XP each. So we're at 240, so total each equals 242 XP. Yeah, 242 XP. Martha will be moved into Berham's XP, 242, and Egil, 242. Alright, there we go. So this, I believe this has gone on for like over an hour and a half, really, yeah, video, so I'm going to call it right there and come back another time. There's nothing, we already updated threads, there's nothing really to update there, but next time I think, you know, the party as it is will go looking for further adventure. Cool. Have a good one. Oops, I just started.